basically an apartment. It's an independent living place so that you can live there independently, just as you would in your own home.
With your peers?
With your peers, with friends going through, similar things. Transition seems to be very scary, and, we want to show you that it's not, and that a move, especially at this stage in life, can be really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Join you in with others going through the same thing, and it's just really great. So.
Hey there, welcome to the Living Well, Aging Smart podcast. A podcast for seniors who are looking to live their best life ever. Looking to live their life with purpose, with passion, and most of all, with a little bit of humor. Here's the thing. I'm Mitchell Schwartz, broker salesman 19845 with Keller Williams Marketplace. I'm a senior real estate specialist as well as a certified senior advisor. And my goal here is to help you live your best life. I'm very passionate about the senior well-being, from housing to health to scams to, more importantly, safety and staying connected with one another. You see, every week we're going to explore topics, things that matter most to seniors just like you and I. Aging in place, maybe actual transitions and navigating that process, protecting your legacy, and yes, occasionally we'll talk about real estate, right? Because I want you to be prepared for when the time is right. And here's the thing, it's not about sales. For me, this is all about stories, insights, and solutions that you could use by bringing the very professionals who can answer the questions for you. Make sure you get the best information and make the best decisions for you. Now, they care about the community just like I do. So before we go to any longer, why don't we just dive right in? So, Kayla Galford.
Hi.
From Revel Nevada.
Yes,
Independent
that's right.
living. It's just amazing a place. Can you share with us a little bit about your history, what brought you to Vegas, all that fun stuff that I think people would like to know about you, and a little bit about why you're so passionate about our seniors?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Thank you.
I was born and raised in Torrance, California, and I was going to school there, of course, and I went to school to become an EMT, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I finished at the top of my class, became an EMT instructor, and then when it came time to actually work as an EMT, I hated it.
Really?
And one of my classmates knew my career path, and it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, and she said, well, I just started this job at a senior living community. You might like it. You might do well. I said, okay. So I started as a caregiver on the overnight shift in a memory care at Sunrise Senior Living.
Here in Las Vegas or there in Sunrise?
There in California, in Palos Verdes.
Okay.
So it was quite an experience. It was an amazing journey. It was sad. It was beautiful. I learned so much. I was only 18 years old when I started as a caregiver. I had no idea what I was getting into, but the passion that I had inside of me of just wanting to help people, that's all the experience I needed.
Yeah.
And so it launched my journey into senior living, and that sprung a lot within my passion for seniors. I became a volunteer and a grand champion of 7 years now for the Alzheimer's Association. I love to raise funds for them every single year. I became a certified death doula as well.
Really?
Because working in this industry, you do see a lot of residents transition to hospice, and we see a lot of things happen at the end of life, and it's different. If you don't have the experience with what end of life looks like, it's hard to obviously prepare for. So being there for families and to support your spouses and families going through that transition, I was so happy to get that extra training and knowledge and be able to offer those services still today, even at Revel.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you moved here when?
Moved here in 2019, right before the pandemic.
Yay!
Yes. So that kickstarted my journey here in Vegas to a
Yeah.
great start. When I first moved here, I was taking care of my grandma a little bit, and then the pandemic started, so I became her full-time caregiver until I finally wanted to get back into senior living. So I, looked around places in my area. I found a senior living community that I absolutely loved.
That's where we met, right?
That's where we met. So I started there as a caregiver as well. I started there in 2021. I was a caregiver on the overnight shift in their memory care once again, and I did that for a few years and then went into activities there for a little bit, which is the best job in senior living by far because it's so much fun.
Yeah, because all you're doing is entertaining.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great. But then I was at Oakmont for quite a few years. The executive director there, Elizabeth Hernandez, she's very prominent in this industry, and she was and is my mentor. She saw something in me that I don't think a lot of people did. She knew that I had a lot of potential to go far in this industry. So she, without any experience in sales, without going to school for it, she said, "You are the right fit for the sales director position." And I took that over at Oakmont, and that's what I've been doing since. Recently moved to Revel.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of a little different, right?
It's
only because the Oakmont or the previous place was assisted transitioning to memory, right? Because some people start out there okay to be assisted and can stay that way.
right.
And then there's others that start there and then they transition into a longer care solution.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and we can talk a little bit about that. But I think what I'm most excited to learn about right now is, and I don't think anybody has a true grasp on this, at least maybe if somebody does, except for you, I think, what is a death doula?
Yes. So have you heard of a birthing doula?
Yes, and I've heard of death doulas, and I
Yeah.
know a couple here in town, obviously
Yeah.
because of the industry I'm in,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure everybody out there knows
Yeah,
what it is.
well, it's similar to a birthing doula. It's someone to be there with you as you go through that process. So my certification to become a death doula, fairly easy process. It was an online course that I did,
Right.
and it essentially consisted of reading a few subjects, having online class discussions, and then of course taking a test at the end and passing the test to be certified. So nothing too crazy, but I just wanted to learn a little bit more about the dying experience. It is something that a lot of people are very scared of course, which
Right.
don't blame them, but it's one of the most certain things in life is death. And
Last
we
I
do
checked.
need to- last we checked, yes. So we do need to kind of shine a little bit more light on that topic and provide some more education to those that are really scared of it. Nothing to be afraid of, just more so being educated on that process.
Because everybody is worried that there's going to be a great deal of pain when it happens. Of course, they're not certain what happens after they die, and
Right.
everybody's all got their own beliefs about that. And
Right.
it's funny, even atheists I speak with actually are like, well, about the afterlife, going to heaven. I'm like, well, I didn't know that was an atheist thing, but it can be.
Yeah, everyone has their own beliefs, and that's
Exactly.
a lot in part to being a death doula as well, is understanding that. I
Right.
may have my own beliefs, but someone else might have a completely different belief set, and it's not about pushing my beliefs onto them
Right.
on how they should have their good death. It's about what makes them most comfortable,
Right.
and that's
right.
what a death doula is there to.
Oh, that's outstanding. That takes a great big heart to be able to do that.
Thank you.
So now let's flash forward to now. You're working at what we would term an independent living community.
That's correct.
So first off, how old do you have to be to live there?
It is a 55 plus community.
I qualified.
Yeah, there you go.
And then, so you're in a 55 plus community. What would be the difference between that and, say, an assisted living?
A lot is different. The biggest thing is the demographic of residents that you will see in an independent living community are far more active than those you might see in an assisted living community. Essentially, an independent living community will provide a lot of amenities, but will not provide any care services, whereas an assisted living, they do. They provide care services such as taking medications each day and helping with a shower, getting dressed.
Yeah, the
anything like
ADLs, right?
The ADLs, exactly.
The assistance with the daily living activities. So you don't do that. But if
No.
somebody was living there and they said, hey, I got somebody to check on me on a
Oh,
regular can they do that?
Absolutely. It's essentially an apartment. It's an independent living place so that you can live there independently, just as you would in your own home.
With your peers?
With your peers, with friends going through, similar things. Transition seems to be very scary, and, we want to show you that it's not, and that
Right.
a move, especially at this stage in life, can be really fun. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
join you in with others going through the same thing, and it's just really great. So yes, as far as differences between assisted living and independent living, we do not provide ADLs, but we still do include a lot of amenities. So I like to compare it to an all-inclusive resort, if you've ever
Because
been
that's
to one.
very much what it's like.
Yes.
It's beautiful. As a matter of fact, we're in the process of editing a video that show all the highlights and all that stuff. I'd hope that we maybe even get some of this into here, or at least make it accessible through a link, because I think when people look at that, they go, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah,
right? So
definitely.
tell us about a few of the amenities so people can kind of start drooling out.
Yeah, my favorite, definitely the activity programming.
Mhm.
So every day you'll see about 5 to 7 activities on our activities calendar,
Mhm.
ranging from exercise classes to trivia, lifelong learning, lecture series. We do live entertainment, cocktail hour, happy hour.
Cocktails.
We play our poker, board games, all kinds of stuff. So one of my favorite amenities for sure, activities. The pool and spa, so much fun. Saltwater pool, heated year round. So of course it's very relaxing, very good for your joints, especially our seniors that are going through things such as arthritis or things that cause a lot of ailments and pain. We do therapy in the water as well, and water aerobics. So lots of different things offered to you on site. An on-site restaurant open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
And it's an amazing restaurant. None of my clients who live there complain about the food.
Oh,
they all like it so much.
Yes, I eat there every day, so I can't complain.
You guys
about
have a
the food
full-blown
either.
chef that runs that place. I mean, it's not like some short order cook that they picked across town. It's a legit.
Absolutely. It's a fine dining restaurant is what I say, and it's beautiful. The ambiance is so much fun, so lively. The residents are always having a good time in the dining room. And
Yeah, I've been there. And you have fun entertainment that shows up, right? The last time I think I was there, there was a guy singing and getting everybody involved.
Yes,
I thought that was pretty good.
We love it. We love to sing. We love to dance. We're very active. The residents just went zip lining not too long ago, which is a little more adventurous for my taste, but that is just a testament to how active they are.
No, that's fantastic. Where did you take them ziplining? Boulder
At
City?
the Fremont Street experience.
Oh, so they went down Slotzilla.
Yes.
Did they go
yes.
all the way up to the top or just the mid-range?
Nope, they went all the way to the top.
Oh, that's so fun. I love that.
Nice,
It's like
yeah.
you're flying like Superman, so
yes.
it's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very cool. So it sounds to me like it's a well-rounded experience. And from what I gather, I've got clients there that are a little bit more recluse, and I have some that are a little bit more active, right? And
Right.
the beauty I've noticed is you really have kind of something for everybody, right?
Yes, definitely. You have that opportunity to be a little more recluse and just wanting to be around people, but not necessarily wanting to talk to them and socialize with them.
Yeah.
Even just sitting in a dining room with them once a day is more than being in your house alone. There's no one around. So.
Well, and there's a couple of times I've referred to communities like yourselves. I was going to say facility, but that's just false because it's not a facility. It's a community, right? And I refer to it as basically kind of like the cruise ship on land, right? Because you come in, first off, it's opulent. Secondly, you can choose to do as much or as little as you want.
Right.
And from day to day, week to week, whatever trips your trigger, lights your fire, you can do that. And I love when I walk past the activities room where they're playing poker, because you can hear them talking smack with each other, just really having a great old time.
It gets intense, yeah.
Yeah, I bet. So tell us a fun story, maybe, if you would, about somebody you helped get moved in.
Oh gosh, okay. There's just too many to count. I would definitely say I had a gentleman, obviously looking at a few different places, doing his tours, shopping around, came into Revel. He's been in a few times. We're best friends now. But he came and he sat down and he said, I'm just not sure I'm ready to make the move. I don't think I'm ready for this. And I said, well, why? What does ready look like?
That's a great question.
Yes, and he couldn't answer it. And I said, well, maybe that means you're ready. He was living in his house. He has a dog. And that's a social interaction.
And I do say that some people are fearful because they don't know if they can, and you guys allow pets.
Oh, absolutely.
As long as you're responsible for your pet, you're allowed to have them.
Absolutely. We love and welcome pets. We are big animal lovers at Revel, so we love and welcome to see all pets. But this gentleman, he was living in his home just with him and his dog, and he told me, he said, I don't think I'm ready. And I looked at him and I said, you are ready. You don't have very many friends. You're not eating very well. He was eating Stouffer's every day, microwave,
Not
food,
healthy.
and he said he gets by on it and it's just fine. But
We live our lives and work as hard as we have worked for just fine,
right?
Just okay.
No.
I look at like a place like yours or any other place like this, assisted living, and I think the people who get to live there have earned that right.
Right.
That's why it's not age restricted, it's age qualified. You earned your right to get to there, right? So now you bring him in and he's saying he's not ready and you're helping him understand that he is.
Yeah. So, and the funny part of the story is he had his dog with him on the tour. So he brought his little dog and we're walking around and the dog starts sniffing around and runs into one of our other dogs living at the community. And they immediately just start playing together. And it was really sweet.
They talk, they say, I like it. You come in or not?
Exactly. And I looked at this gentleman and I said, see, your puppy has friends now. It's time for you to get in here and make some friends. And so now they do puppy play dates together in our dog park.
Fun. That's so fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that because pets are so much a part of our lives. And as we get older, I even think more so. And a lot of people have service animals and just for, helping them cope with the day-to-day BS that shows up, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How fun is that? So I've been blessed to come and speak at your community. I think even prior to you being there, I taught a class there called or spoke about a senior mindset reset, like around it was either the first of the year or immediately preceding about how to get your mind right. Mm-hmm. So what kinds of things other than bringing in guys like me do you guys do to kind of keep people with their brain in the right place?
Yeah, so we are very big on lifelong learning. We have started a lecture series that is going to, because our residents do love to have guest speakers and they love to hear about different topics. So we decided we wanted to start a lecture series that focuses on topics that you wouldn't really necessarily think you're interested in. We have topics such as how to play Dungeons and Dragons, topics on wine tasting and where different wines originate and different grapes and different barrels that go into it.
Fun.
Things that you know about, but you never really actually sat down to learn. They don't teach wine tasting in school, so
Well, why would they? We're all under 18 generally when we're there, right?
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, I'm not going to go become a sommelier just because I want to learn about wine, right?
Right, exactly. So just a lot of different topics, and of course asking the residents what do they want to learn about, and they love Vegas history. So the Mob Museum, it does a great presentation about all kinds of different things. So our next lecture series is actually going to be about the Prohibition era. And we will be holding it in our movie theater that we are turning into a speakeasy.
Wow.
Yes.
For that event?
For that event. So it'll be a speakeasy to enter.
That's the one right off the lobby area, right?
That's right. Yep. So we'll have it in our speakeasy. We will require a password to enter, and we will serve drinks, non-alcoholic, but maybe with something special on the side. At the
Mob Museum. If you choose to, right?
Right, if you choose to. I know at the Mob Museum, their speakeasy, they serve whiskey in a hollowed-out book. So
yeah, I've seen a couple of those things. My wife and I went there. They had the little bathtub thing.
Yes.
A couple of the deals. We had a great time there, and it was outstanding. As a matter of fact, because I've been there a couple times, I think it's a good idea. And I think how fun. Have you actually taken a trip down there yet? Because I know you guys got a small bus you take people like you did to the zip lining.
Yes,
right?
They're constantly going on outings. They've gone to Pahrump to do wine tasting there. They love shopping, of course. Shopping and the casinos, I think, are our number 1 and number 2 stops.
I bet, right?
Yes.
I bet.
But all kinds of things. Out to dinner, out to do a painting class, out to the strip to see maybe maybe not a show at the Spear, but to go look at the Spear when it opened up.
Yeah, because
the
going to the
vertigo
show is
is-
a little spendy too.
Yeah, the vertigo in and of itself is a bit much.
Oh,
for
sure,
the
and I
Spear.
can understand how that could be a challenge. I'm taking my
Yeah.
mom a week from Saturday to see The Wizard of Oz, so
Oh,
I
very
certainly
nice.
understand that.
Oh,
So what would be a reason a person would give about not wanting to move there? I don't understand. I mean, because I've talked to this ad nauseum to a lot of people, that the perception of independence that a lot of people have, I think, is part of it. But
Mhm.
where else do you think is a challenge for people?
Yeah, I definitely think, coming to terms with selling your home that you've lived in for maybe years at a time and, having to downsize, that thought is very daunting for
Right.
sure. And it's easier to say, well, I'm doing just fine now. I'm eating my Stouffer's meal every day. I go outside for 5 minutes to walk my dog and I watch TV. So I'm living just fine. But it's the realization that you could live so much better and you deserve it. Just as you said, we didn't work all our whole lives and set ourselves up for success just to be just fine.
Just fine.
So I do think it's an important one, but the challenge is leaving your home.
Right.
It
Well,
is
I
tough.
do think it's a false sense of independence.
Mhm.
When you're living alone in your house, you think you're independent.
Right.
But what you don't realize, you're really a slave to the house.
Right.
You're responsible for the roof. You're responsible to feed yourself. You're responsible for the upkeep, the cleaning, the maintenance. You're responsible if it's broken, and you're there by yourself. And if you leave town, say you want to go on a trip to Europe for a month, you come back, your house could have somebody, squatters living in it.
Oh
could
yeah.
could somebody
bug
broke it into it?
infestations
all
and
kinds of stuff.
all
You're
kinds of
100%
crazy
responsible
stuff.
for that.
Absolutely.
So how's that considered independent?
Yeah, and I will say a lot of my prospects, when they come in and they're searching, and I ask, what prompted you to start searching? That is the number one reason. They realize they don't want to have to deal with the water heater breaking out and, there's a flood in the house, or you pay $1 million of HOA fees in your whole life. And
Sure.
there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So I do get it. When you live there for so long, maybe you live there with a spouse, they recently passed, and the house is all you had together. It is a difficult decision.
Certainly.
But if I could say one thing to anyone that's thinking about making the move but hesitant, you are not alone, and anywhere that you move into, you will find someone that's going through the same exact thing.
Or has at least
Or
gone
has,
through it, right?
or has, absolutely.
Because a lot of the people who live in your community are single,
Right.
and they've had that very thing happen to them. I mean, I'm
Right.
very blessed. A couple of my clients are together, and they're still there together, which is great. Like Lee and Paula, who I
Yes.
just love to death. And but I think that's true, that people perceive one thing when really, when faced with the facts, sometimes can make a different decision. Do you ever find that sometimes family gets in the way of this?
They can. I think that for our adult children, some of them who have not had the experience of looking at independent living communities for seniors, because, why would you if you're in your 30s and you don't really need it? They have a misconception of what the communities itself would look like. We have an idea of, a nursing home, you're going to throw me in a home, and that idea is so out the window. Of course, there are some places out there that I would not recommend, but as far as independent luxury senior living, completely different.
Right. Well, and even today, we don't call them nursing homes.
Yeah.
I think at worst, they're called skilled nursing facilities, right?
Yeah.
And even then, the ones I've seen in town, I have my mom's friend who lives over off of, she lives, I think it's called the Oasis, over out there off of Wigwam or whatever.
Okay.
And she loves it there.
Yeah.
She shares a room with somebody because of the cost factor for her.
Of course.
But she's personalized her whole space. She can come and go as she wants because of her health is not so deteriorated. But it's perfect for her.
Absolutely.
And it's not a nursing home.
Right. The idea of that nursing home is so old school. We don't see those anymore. And you're right, even the skilled nursings are beautiful. And my grandma was in a skilled nursing for about 6 months, and she was so not excited to go there, of course, but she'd play bingo every day, and she made friends, and she loved the caregivers, and the caregivers loved her. So there is really a misconception behind it. So I think when the parent is looking and they say to their adult child, I'm looking at moving into this independent living, there is a negative stigma behind it to say, well, why? You have your home. I don't understand why you would need to move there.
Right.
It's more of the lifestyle change and the convenience, and there's a lack of education, I think, about what we do actually offer.
Right. And I think there's also a misconception about the dollars and how they work. Because when I've sat down with some of my clients and I start penciling it out, and they really see that it's within like 10 to 20% of what they're already paying.
Right.
The difference is they're relieving themselves of so many other things
Right.
that 10 or 20% is negligible in exchange for the services that they get.
Absolutely. It's almost a convenience fee to just kind of have everything laid out for you versus, again, the upkeep of your home and no lack of socialization, lack of a healthy meal. We focus on blue zone foods in our restaurant, and that stuff is so important to seniors. And
Sure.
Stofers are my biggest enemy.
So the fact that you even talk about this stuff with people is really important, that they understand that this is not about selling them anything. This is about opening their minds up to something could be better. Yeah. And you mentioned something about socialization. What I do know about dementia and seniors and depression, all of that stems from many times the lack of proper socialization.
Absolutely.
So as an example, my mom currently lives with me. And I'm very blessed to be in that position. And I take her this morning to hang out with her friends. I pick her up tonight to hang out with her friends. She can't live alone because of fear of falling and stuff, even in a community. Because she don't want to be in assisted living because that's the only problem she's got is possibly falling. Right. She doesn't need to worry about her meds, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that she could do independent because of her fear of falling and my fear that she falls. Right. But I make sure that she socializes. She's hanging out with her friends probably, I'd say 3 or 4 days a week. I'm dropping her off and I'm picking her up. And I actually taught her how to use the Lyft app in case I couldn't do it.
Yeah, great.
Right, and so the socialization, super important.
Absolutely.
Super.
Absolutely. And most of our seniors do have some form of Alzheimer's or dementia. It's fairly common. Doesn't necessarily mean you show a lot of symptoms, but you know, we start to age and forget things here and there. It's completely normal. But I think there is also a misconception of who is able to reside in an independent living. I have a lot of clients that say, well, we're looking because we do have an onset of dementia. We know we'll need some more help and support in the future, but right now we're okay to stay in our home. I like to remind my prospects, if you do have that diagnosis, remember starting as soon as possible on those activity programs, the socialization, healthy diet, regular routine and lifestyle in a familiar environment. It will incredibly slow the progression of the disease.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that, at least in my experiences, it seems to me like a lot of people think that it happens very slowly. I believe, from what I've seen, it's gradually, then suddenly it's like all of a sudden it's like you hit a peak and then you're just downhill from there, and it goes so fast. And so having a space where you can have a consistent schedule, you can have safe and comfortable surroundings, and then when you relieve yourself of the stress of having to do all the other things, you can enjoy the lifestyle that you've earned. Right. Exactly. Very cool. So real quick, what's your favorite thing to eat on the menu?
Oh, well, my favorite thing is going to be a hot dog and french fries, but that's my boring answer. Their fettuccine and garlic bread is so good. Their French dip sandwiches and Philly cheesesteaks are delicious as well. They'll put the Philly cheesesteak on the menu, but what the chef has given us an insider tip on is you get fries, the steak on top, and drizzle it in the cheese, and it's delicious.
And it's like Cheese Whiz, like the old Philly style?
Yeah, but luxury.
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 It's not Cheese Whiz, it's like maybe more nacho-y kind of cheese. Yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah, and every time I come in there, people are in the dining room. You just hear them talking away, having a good old time. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And you have some of the most wonderful people working up front. Jill is so sweet.
She is a riot.
Sarah's very nice too. They're just good people, and you're very blessed to work with Elizabeth. She's sharp as a tack, and
yes,
she really is, and she understands this business at a high level. I honestly see you becoming an executive director someday myself. I truly believe, because of your passion for this. So what else should we be asking about a community? If I was old enough, which I am, but let's say, for instance, I decided I want to take my wife down to the community. What kinds of questions would I be would you suggest I ask of any community before I would consider it?
Yeah, I definitely I would more so give the advice to be prepared to talk about you. The more information you can give the sales director on you and what your needs are is helpful for them to connect you with the best place possible. When someone comes in for a tour, I want to know everything about their daily routine, what they like,
Right.
what they used to like, what they think they might like, but they are too scared to try it.
Right.
I want to, get to know the person and how we can show them what we have to offer that works within their lifestyle.
Yeah, what's possible, right?
Yeah. So we definitely, I would just say, be prepared to answer what's most important to you. That's my biggest question that I like to ask. So you think about that, and then as you go to your communities and you look around for that most important thing to you, whether it's resident to staff interaction, resident to resident interaction, whether it's the food, amenities offered, the size of the room. You think about what is most important to you and you find it.
Yeah, and what I've discovered, like one of the people that I helped move into the location where you previously were, was he would say, because I asked him, I said, what are you looking forward to doing at the new place? And he says, one of the things I'm looking forward to is I used to like, and I can't remember exactly what it was. He said, I used to like to do this. Mm-hmm. And then when my wife got sick, I stopped doing that.
Right.
And I want to get back to doing that again.
Right.
And they have that there for me. And
right.
I thought, that's beautiful. Yeah. Give yourself a chance to really live your life again.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're only given so much time. Now, let me ask you this, because I did have somebody ask me one time about religious proceedings or whatever. You guys have anything like that there that might be, somebody could say, oh, well, I don't even have to leave and go to church or whatever.
Yeah. So we do have on-site services. If I'm not mistaken, we have a non-denominational service that comes in. Mm-hmm. So essentially a chaplain that can just talk with anyone about faith if they want to. We have a lot of residents that will take our Lyft rides or our shuttle on the weekends to attend a church service. We have residents just within all walks of life, all different religions and beliefs and all kinds of things. So we do accommodate for anyone that wants or needs or just...
Yeah. Well, I've seen just walking through the halls, the mezuzah on the side of the door for the Jewish folks and all of that. And I think the fact that you're open to... Anybody can choose to be however they choose to be, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is let's say take for instance, somebody moves in mm-hmm. and they're there for say a year and then all of a sudden they do get a diagnosis that says, listen, you've got a situation that requires hospice care.
Right.
Now, my understanding is they can obviously have hospice come to them, but sometimes it gets to the place where that's not conducive anymore. So how do you guys facilitate helping them get to another place?
Yeah, so just depending on the need, just depending on where we're at in the stage of care needed, hospice can definitely come into the community. I know there are certain hospices that give services on site, but anything that they can do on site, they can also do within our community. If it comes to any other ADLs or cares needed, such as maybe you need some physical therapy throughout the week or mm-hmm. help with a shower here and there, we have plenty of different programs, outside sources, anyone that we can help get in to work with your specific need. We have physical therapy on site. We have physicians that come in weekly. Yeah. So just whatever your need is.
And you get your hair done there.
And you get your hair done there. You get your nails done. Yeah. Workout classes. It's all right there.
Oh my gosh. And your gym is amazing.
Yes.
I swear, when I come by and I see the gym and there's maybe one or two people working out, and you could easily have 40 or 50 people in there kicking butt.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And it really strikes me as a very fun place. I think the only thing that I would say you don't have that cruise ships have are casinos. You don't have a casino.
Oh, but that does not stop them from gambling.
It does not, because I've seen the poker and the gin games and the bridge games, and they're all tallying up. Yes. All right, it's a nickel a point,
Yep.
I just love that. I
just
love it. It's so much fun because it just makes me feel like they're really setting up themselves for a home.
Yeah, definitely. A home and a friendship and a different stage of life. We think about, you go to high school and you make all your high school friends and then you move on from that stage of life. And it's no different from that. the idea of moving into a senior living community is still very scary when some hear it. And really just think of it as a different stage of your life, making new friends, being in a new environment. But you're still you still live your life, you're independent. We are called Revel because we love to say, how do you want to revel in your retirement?
Yeah.
We set it up so that you have your best experience.
Yeah. Well, here's a secret that a lot of people don't know about Revel, is you have more than one location across the country. So that means if I want to go to visit a place where you already have a community, tell us about that.
Yes, so we have a few programs which are awesome. We have a couple residents that have a seasonal residence either at maybe Revel Nevada is their home base, but they go to visit Revel Issaquah in Washington for a few months out of the year. Or if you're just traveling to California for a weekend beach trip and you want to stay in a Revel property that's close to the beach for no charge. If you're a resident with Revel, you are welcome to stay. We will always have a room for you at Revel.
Okay, so did you guys hear that? I think that's a really great perk, that if you wanted to stay in another community because you're traveling, you can. So if you got family in, say, well, like she said, Southern California, and maybe they don't want to come out here, or maybe you just want to change the scenery.
Right.
Maybe it's the middle of summer and they live by the beach. You go out there, you find the community that's by the beach, you make arrangements, and you can stay there at no cost.
That's right.
And you're out of the heat, you're visiting family, and it's better than a hotel room because it's all the familiar surroundings. Right. So all the Revels, while they're somewhat different, they're all very similar in regards to you're going to get most of the same amenities. They're mostly all about the same size, so they're manageable well.
Right. And
the quality of the food is there. It's home.
Absolutely.
I love that. I think that's one of the coolest things. And not all the communities can offer that because there's a couple here in town that it's one.
It's just the one. Yeah.
Right? And I get that. And sometimes that works for people and sometimes it doesn't.
Of course, yeah.
But here's my thought on this, and maybe I'm wrong. If somebody thinks even remotely that this could be in their future in the next year or two, they should come visit, right?
Definitely. Definitely start early just so that you have a plan in place. I do sometimes see families, it's time to make a move and we should do this quick so that we get mom or we get myself into a community so I can start making friends and get in a better environment. But it is better if you know that in the future you're wanting to make this change, visit, spend time talking to the residents, come in for an event and see what the environment is like. Don't just come in for a tour and look around for 15 minutes. No. Really come in and experience the community.
Come in from one of the lecture series, right?
Absolutely.
Come in when they have entertainment.
Absolutely.
The singer and the people doing the things they're doing. They have the dancers coming in. It's just a fun thing.
Yeah.
And I think that would really be good. Come and visit. And I say to a lot of my clients, and I tell people when they're over 60-ish, I said, your life is changing now. And you're probably not working. If you are, then you can still live there and you can still work because you have plenty of residents that still have jobs.
Sure do.
Because they really got a lot of fulfillment from it.
Right.
But what I say is, let's have that conversation today, even if you think it's not for a year or two. Only because I can also help set up an expectation of how to plan for this.
Right.
So when the time comes, it's not done hastily.
Right.
You've probably seen situations, like you said, people come in and go, okay, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing that, you can make a mistake. When you're doing that, you can make the wrong choice because you're making it because you're fast rather than being thorough.
Right. And no matter if you're looking to move in 5 years or 5 minutes, we will find you the perfect home. Yeah. But I definitely recommend do your research, spend as much time in each community as you can if you're planning to look at a few different options. On this topic, I'd love to talk about our staycation program at Revel. So Revel, we do offer a program where if you are looking to move into a senior living community, you're not quite sure if it's for you, you're not sure if you can see yourself living in the environment just yet, come stay at Revel's Staycation. You will have a fully furnished 1-bedroom apartment with meals included. Typically up to 3 nights is what we allow. So you can come and you go to the restaurant, you meet current residents, you participate in activities. You're essentially a resident for the week.
Immersive.
Yes, it is, and and that's exactly the environment that you'll get once you move in. So you really see it for yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put on the show for 3 days in a row, right? So
Yeah.
they can actually come and they can witness people at their best and witness people at their worst and
Right.
see people in there every day, which I think is going to be key. And again, it just comes down to have an open enough mind
Mhm.
that at least you're going to have the visit and have the conversation, even if it's not today,
Right.
even if you think it's going to be down the road. Because if you do that now and you say, you know what, Revel is a place that I would like to live, and I need to meet with Mitch and talk about what the ducks need to be in a row to make that possible.
Mhm.
Because there's also ways that we can help them get pay for it, right? So there's solutions there as well that a lot of people don't realize that are available.
Right.
That I can help them. There's also solutions for helping them move. I mean, we work very closely with House to Home.
Right.
Allison,
Yes.
who is my senior move manager. She's one of the people that's been on the video here multiple times. We all work together
Mhm.
to ensure that a person's move, their transition is as smooth as possible, eliminate as much stress as possible.
Right. And I think a lot of it too is a lot of people don't know what resources are out there. We
Mhm.
don't have just movers. We have someone that will
Oh.
really get you settled into your home.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I would say is ask the question. If you have a question, ask it because we will find someone to help you.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's really great to consider it that way, and consider it in a thought that says it's not a one thing. It's a system of all the services coming together and having somebody either like you or me or Allison orchestrating the whole thing, right? Like moving it and coordinating it so everything is done
Mhm.
so they have as little stress as possible.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I find that people many times get, what is it, paralysis by analysis, right? They're overthinking it.
Yes.
This is a great opportunity to reap the rewards that you've earned your entire life.
Mhm.
And don't let anybody tell you that you don't deserve this, because you do.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're a jerk, stay home. We don't want those. But for the most part, everybody I've met at your community is just wonderful.
They are lovely. Between the staff, the residents, they are family, and they really. I started there a few months ago, and they really all opened their arms, welcomed me with love and patience and care, and I'm so happy to be a part of the Revel team.
Well, and your activities guy, Zach, right?
Adam.
That's it. Adam. He is really excited about that job. He loves helping people get excited and do things and coordinate and stuff like that.
Yes, he's incredible. And so for those listening or watching that don't know, the team at Revel actually all previously worked together at a different community. So myself, our resident experience director, Adam, our executive director, Elizabeth, our maintenance director, Hank. We've all worked together the last few years, and we are just a well-oiled machine. So we were so excited to get into Revel together and just embrace the community, and the community embraced us, and it's just been so much fun.
What question have I not asked you that I should have?
Oh goodness, I don't know that I can think of one.
It's okay. No worries there. If it pops up in a second, let me know.
Yeah.
What do you think people should know that you haven't told them already?
I think if you are in the demographic of listening to this podcast because you're a potential person to move into a senior living community,
or an adult child of somebody thinking about that, because I think that's important that family gets involved, right?
Yes. I just have to say socialization, good meals, and community is such an important thing, and really consider, do you have that in your day-to-day life now, or do we need to adjust your lifestyle so that you have that? Because it is just as, if not more important than medication or water, things that are essential on a daily basis. Healthy food, socialization, activities, and just a community of people, it's essential. So if I could say anything to those listening, it's really consider it, and go tour your places and stay at Revel for a staycation and see how you like it.
I think that's a great idea, and I do see that some people staying at home all the time, their brain's going to turn to mush, because they ultimately get sucked into the dangers of the TV, and I'm going to use air quotes, news, because it's really not, and it's not easy to not get sucked into that if you're watching that. Now, Fortunately, my mom, when she is at home, watches old movies. We have that set up, and she can go in there and she can stream whatever she wants. She don't watch the news because, frankly, I don't want her to watch the news. And I explained to her, I said, listen, that's going to drive you crazy. So
Right.
just avoid that.
Right.
But sitting at home, not socializing, not hanging, well, I socialize a lot. I got my grandkids coming over. How often? And are they really your peer? They're not.
Right.
You need people to be able to talk to you about the things that you like to talk about, that you relate to.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, absolutely. So that's really helpful. And I love the fact that you definitely include the family in this, because this is a whole picture conversation, right?
Right.
Well, can you think of anything else before we wrap up?
I cannot.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe we have you back another time. Maybe we get a bunch of people sending in a bunch of questions and they say, "Bring that Caleb girl back on. We got more questions to ask her." Anyways, well, thank you very, very much for being here. I really love my relationship that I have with you guys over there at Revel. And I love when I go there, I'm greeted warmly, treated with respect. And I know that that's the same for everybody who comes there, not just because they think I'm a prospect, because they know that I'm not, at least not right now. But the bottom line is everybody there seems to just really enjoy their life. So thank you for bringing that to the seniors that I care a lot about. I appreciate that.
Thank you for inviting me here to be able to talk about it. It's something we're both very passionate about, so it's definitely a fun topic.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today on the Living Well, Aging Smart podcast, the one for seniors to help you live your best life possible. This is a way that we're going to take the next step to make sure that you're aging clearly, safely, and more importantly, with confidence and in a community that cares about you. Today's episode, for me, brought up questions that I think you'd probably want to be involved in asking. Talk to your family, whomever you got to talk to. Maybe it's about your own housing transition. Anything that comes up about what we talked about today in the podcast, or if you just have questions about the market in general, you can click on the link in the description and get an easy 15-minute phone call with me just to ask your questions, or you can shoot an email to them, or you can just call me directly on my cell phone, 702-303-0040. You're also free to go to my website, seniorassistanceteam.com. There's lots of information there, places you can dig around and find some helpful resources and guides and tools to help you with your next step. But here's the thing also, you should probably, if you like this, subscribe to it, leave a review, maybe share it with somebody you know that would appreciate it or get benefit from this information. In either case, until next time, stay safe, stay smart, live well, and age smart. Thank you so much for being here.